Have you ever wondered how pizza dough is made? Today we unravel that mystery. Pizza dough, the unsung hero of our beloved pizza. It's a simple concoction of flour, water, yeast, and a pinch of salt. Yet it's this humble mixture that forms the canvas for the symphony of flavors we all know and love as pizza. Imagine a world without pizza dough, no crust to hold your mountain of cheese, your garden of veggies, or your sea of pepperoni. It's a bleak picture, isn't it? But fear not. For the art of pizza dough making is alive and well, both in the bustling factories and the cozy confines of our kitchens. From the mechanized precision of factory production lines to the rustic charm of kneading dough by hand, the creation of pizza dough is a process as varied as the toppings you can put on it. Now that we at STBL Media has whetted your appetite with the basics, it's time to delve deeper into the dough of this episode of Factory versus Homemade. If you enjoy our content, remember to subscribe and like our videos so others may be able to see them and enjoy them as well. Of course, stay tuned to the end of our episode where, as always, an easy-to-make a delicious homemade recipe awaits. First, we'll take a virtual tour of the industrial method. In the factory, making pizza dough is all about efficiency and consistency. It's a world where time is dough, quite literally. Here, mountains of flour blend with water, yeast, and salt in giant industrial mixers. It's a bit like watching a ballet of baking ingredients, choreographed to perfection. The machinery involved is quite fascinating. Picture colossal stainless steel contraptions churning and kneading, turning raw ingredients into dough in the blink of an eye. It's a marvel of modern engineering. The factory process prioritizes speed and precision. Thousands upon thousands of dough balls are produced every hour, each one identical to the next. It's like a doughy assembly line where the margin for error is practically non-existent. Volume of production, it's astronomical. Factories churn out enough dough to blanket a small country. So that's the factory method. Quick, consistent, but perhaps a bit impersonal. Now let's turn to the homemade approach. Making pizza dough at home, on the other hand, is a labor of love. It's like being an artist, except your canvas is flour and your paint is water and yeast. You start by mixing the ingredients together. This isn't a mad scientist experiment, mind you. You have to be careful, attentive, almost nurturing. Too much water and your dough will be stickier than a politician's promise. Not enough, and it'll be drier than a British summer. Next, you knead the dough. This isn't a task for the faint-hearted, it's a full-on arm workout. You'll be kneading until you can practically hear the dough whispering, "Okay, I give up, I'm elastic enough." And then comes the waiting game. Letting the dough rise is like watching paint dry, but with a better payoff. A few hours of patience and you have dough that's ready to be shaped into pizza. And there you have it, the homemade method. It may take more time and effort, but the results can be truly delicious. So, how do these two methods measure up against each other? Let's start with the ingredients. Factories often use preservatives and additives to prolong shelf life, while at home we use fresh ingredients, no additives, just pure, unadulterated, doughy goodness. Then there's the process. Factories may churn out pizzas as efficiently as a well-oiled machine, but at home it's a labor of love. Each knead, each roll, each rise, it's all part of the charm. Time, you ask? Well, factories can produce a battalion of pizzas in the time it takes you to preheat your oven. But as they say, good things come to those who wait. And finally, the product. Factory pizzas can be as identical as peas in a pod. But homemade pizzas? Each one is a unique masterpiece, a testament to your culinary prowess. While the factory method may win on speed and consistency, the homemade method certainly takes the cake. Or should we say, the pizza, for taste and personal touch. Now that you've seen both methods, why not try making your own pizza dough at home? Let's dive into our quick and easy recipe, shall we? First, in a large bowl, combine 2¼ teaspoons of active dry yeast with a teaspoon of sugar and 3/4 cup of warm water. Give it a good stir, then leave it to sit for about 5 minutes. While you're waiting, you could do a little dance or ponder the mysteries of yeast. Once the yeast is frothy, it's ready to party. Add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a couple pinches of salt, and 2¼ cups of flour. Mix until the dough starts to form. Now for the fun part. Knead that dough on a floured surface for about 5 minutes. It's a great way to get out some pent-up energy or pretend you're a professional Italian pizza chef. Once it's smooth and elastic, place it in a greased bowl, cover it, and let it rise for an hour. And there you have it, your very own homemade pizza dough. Happy baking and bon appetit!